You haven't done that many CDs because you've only been with the group 5 years. You've done one CD so far?
I've done Mantra.
You've done Mantra?
And this is the first CD with just the four of us, with the Orlando Consort.
Which is the first in an enormous series of recordings of chansons by Machaut, Guillaume de Machaut, for Hyperion Records. The group, I think, we've done certainly over 20 CDs in 25 years,
Nice.
But this marks really an extraordinary new beginning.
It's really exciting.
Because, I mean, that's going to be an awful lot of CDs, and there's an awful lot of music out there. Guillaume de Machaut, born about 1300,
There or thereabouts.
dies 1377.
For sure.
I always have to check my dates. Yeah. So 14th century composer,
But more known as a poet.
more known as a poet, particularly to Chaucer, for example, known for his poetry. So yeah,
But on that basis, is it fanciful to argue that he's possibly the greatest singer-songwriter of all time?
he's the James Taylor of his
Discuss.
day.
Certainly one of the most prolific, surely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, his work was unrivaled for centuries, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no one else with that sort of output.
Well, I
for
think
hundreds of years.
we're extraordinarily lucky with Machaut that
But
there's
it
a
survived.
suggestion that he's possibly quite a vain man.
Yeah.
Because he did document everything he did, whether it be writing music, writing poetry, and then talking about them in letters and making sure that everybody knew what was going on.
Right.
So,
This is
on
before the age of Twitter, you realise.
on that basis, more of his music has survived than anybody else from that period, and also we know more about him biographically than other people. He does emerge as one of the great songwriters of all time.
Yeah, and they're all of such great quality as well, aren't they? I mean, there's hundreds of songs.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. And a lot of them are single voice ones. I mean, we'll come to those. Yeah, and they seem on the page, well, they can be bizarre because they have strange leaps and so on. But once you get to know them and understand them, deliver them and so on, incredibly rich. It's again that strange thing of having a very limited amount of notes at your disposal. Yet there somehow is a great richness to be exploited from those.
When we've often had our first readings of a Machaut song, there's been a reaction quite often to think, as we're singing a particular passage, can that possibly be right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And certainly in the first stages of getting into the repertoire, we would try different variations to see if we could, in inverted commas, make it sound right.
Yeah.
Only to come round to the conclusion that actually, if you sing what's in the manuscript and sing it with conviction, then it makes complete sense.
Don't question our beloved editors.
Yes.
They've done a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, without trying to push the comparisons too far, I think, I would, from my distant memories of studying German Lieder, I would say that, you could argue that Machaut is a maverick in the way that Hugo Wolf was a maverick in comparison with Schubert and Schumann. And
Certainly ahead of his time,
the
I think
twists
it's fair
and
to
turns.
argue, yeah.
Even to the point that, with the first disc, where we've been focusing on the songs from this collection called Le Voix dit, which charts a course through his real or imagined affair with the young noblewoman Perron, some 50 years his junior, that's actually a deliberate sort of almost song cycle.
Yes.
In terms of charting the good times, the bad times, and the eventual
Yes.
breakup of the affair.
That's true, actually, and also, I mean, by the same token, of course, he's probably best known to people like ourselves who come up through that English choral tradition, being the first person to write the ordinary of the Mass as one complete
Yes.
thing, which,
Yeah.
of course, then medieval composers and Renaissance composers and indeed modern day composers also do. So yeah, I like the comparison of the song cycle. That makes a lot of sense. Taking actually being responsible for establishing a new genre, really, and he certainly also spent a great deal of time fixing the forme fixe, those particular structures of poetry that we know, the ballad, the virelai, the rondo, and so on.